Today is an important anniversary for me in terms of my research, and I also learned an important life lesson that when bad things happen, there's often a good reason for them to happen. There have been so many times in my life where something bad has happened, where when I look back at it, even worse would have happened had it not happened, and so it's all good. So what had happened was when I was working on my PhD research, I was working on a theory called computational social choice theory, and toward the end of my time at Rochester Institute of Technology, where I was working on it, somebody stole my laptop computer, and what had happened was that I was at the time living in my car, and to a lesser extent in the office at RIT, because I was kind of in a transition. I really didn't have any sort of stability in terms of my career, and so I was kind of in between situations, constantly on the move. And so I would hang out at a grocery store called Wegmans to kind of network with people, to meet other people who were interested in the same area of research, because this is a college town, and also to look for my future wife. And one day I had gone to Wegmans as usual, and I wrote some things in my thesis. And when I had gone back to the office where I was planning to sleep for that night, I discovered I didn't have my laptop. I thought I might have left it at a computer lab that was on the way back from the Wegmans store to my office. I had gone there to say hello to a few people, and when I went there, it wasn't there. And I called RIT security. I thought maybe I left it somewhere on the campus, see if it had been turned in. I knew I had used the laptop at Wegmans, and I didn't think I had stopped in that many places, but I called just to be sure. And security had a way to check where the computer had last pinged the Wi-Fi network on the campus, and we hadn't used the laptop on the campus for a day and a half or so, if I remember correctly. So it was before I had left for Wegmans, and so the only logical conclusion was I left it at Wegmans, and I went to the Wegmans and it wasn't there, and I panicked because when I went to my cloud account to see what I had backed up, I discovered that all my backups were many weeks old. The reason I had forgotten to back up all my files for so long was because I had met a girl at Wegmans, and I got kind of distracted by the whole saga of meeting her. And I'm normally pretty diligent about backing things up. Very rarely will I go a week without backing up. I just got distracted by meeting this girl. Uh, so I panicked, and I thought maybe somebody I'd stolen the laptop and was trying to sell it on Craigslist. I went to Craigslist to check. It was the middle of the night. If somebody were going to take it to a pawn shop, it would be the next day. So I didn't have a way to check there, but I posted on Craigslist, just offering a reward, no questions asked. I didn't get a response. And by this time it was already 11 o'clock, and I really needed to complete something to show my advisor, and I had lost most of it. So I frantically tried to look for a used laptop to buy on Craigslist because it's 11. I couldn't go to Walmart was closed. I live in a college town where we don't have 24-hour stores like that. And I had frantically texted somebody who was selling a used laptop for $100. He wasn't answering. I texted him saying, if you could meet up today, I'll give you another 50, make it 150. And he did it. And this is a college student. He needs the extra money, so it was a win-win. And I got the laptop, and I started writing I started installing everything and then writing, and lo and behold, I missed. I found something that I had missed previously, and it's kind of funny because the next day, when I went to see my advisor, I had everything except that I didn't get sleep, and my advisor was pretty upset because she knows that I sometimes don't take good care of my body because I'm spending all this time with the girls. I used to be I used to be very very smug about meeting girls, and but that particular my advisor used to be very upset because she thought I was wasting a lot of time meeting these girls. In reality, what was happening was that I was getting a lot of inspiration from meeting the girls and coming up with lots of research ideas. If I had just focused on my research 24/7, it probably wouldn't have turned out. But I came in with this big result that I had previously overlooked, and she thought that I had stayed up all night to come up with it, and she my advisor was like, I don't want you to have huge medical bills just to come up with stuff like that. And we both had a good laugh. And then I realized that she realized I was right. And so it gave me a good warm fuzzy feeling, even though I hadn't gotten sleep all night. And I got a new idea, and it's become a new chapter in my thesis. Actually, I was only supposed to write 5 chapters, and all of a sudden, last minute, I come up with this result because somebody had stolen my laptop. And even to this day, when I discuss with people my PhD research, we get to chapter 6, I introduce it as the chapter I wrote when somebody stole my laptop, and so it turned out to be good. And so, unfortunately, a year ago, I also had another laptop that was stolen. This time, a much higher end laptop, which actually makes sense to steal. And what had happened was somebody broke into my car and stole the laptop. And I had gone to Seattle to meet a girl that I had met online. And the reason that I had met her is kind of comical as well. I was buying car insurance, and when I quoted the insurance, I discovered that I was paying significantly more than I should have because I was single. I had a car accident a year before that, and being single added almost as much to my premium as having the accident, and so it made me upset. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't going to send me to the poorhouse or anything, but it was just one additional cost of being single on top of all the other costs that I deal with on a regular basis. I mean, if you think about it, the biggest cost I deal with is all the stereotypes that I have to deal with at the workplace. People think I'm single. I don't have all these other responsibilities. Oh, therefore I can do all these extra things. We basically work 24 hours a day sometimes. Oh, there's that. There's just the extra cost of everything involved. And anywhere I live, I'm probably paying a lot more rent than somebody who's living as a couple. Oh, there's even the car itself. A married couple, they might only need one car. I need one car just for myself. What else could come up? Sometimes anything that you get a discount for buying two of. Trying to think where else this could come up, but you get the idea. There are so many minor costs of being single that anytime I hear one more, it just adds to the overall burden. So I was so upset that I went on OkCupid.com and I said, anybody want to marry me so that we could just both save on car insurance? I introduced myself. I love writing computer games. That's why I don't want to get married because I want to have all this extra time to write computer games, but I hate paying the car insurance premium because of being single. If you're in the same boat, let's get married. Let's save some money on car insurance, and let's be done with it. And I think that's what I wrote. And this girl said she was very interested in me, and I wanted to know her situation, why she would want to marry somebody just to save on car insurance. I was kind of curious about that. And she corrected herself. She was interested in me because I like to think outside of the box. Not too many people do that these days. And so I'd gone to downtown Seattle to meet up with her, and when I got back to my car, it was around 10 o'clock at night. Somebody had broken into the car and stolen my laptop. And now that I look back at it, I had to wait for the police to come to write the report. I really bonded with her during the time we were waiting for the police to come. And also at the time, I was writing a computer game called Sarakarta. And again, I had forgotten to back up my files for at least a week or two that time because of all this drama with marrying this girl to save on car insurance. And when I rewrote that, I came up with another idea that I had overlooked before. So it was kind of weird how that happened again. And what else has been going on? actually a couple weeks ago, I was flying or a few months ago, I was flying to Taiwan, and I almost lost my laptop at the airport. I was checking flight schedules, and I realized that I hadn't picked up my laptop from security. And as I raced back to security, I reminded myself good things happen when I lose my laptop. So I wasn't too worried. I was just calmly trying to find out where it was, and I found my laptop, and it was all good. I remembered what had happened the last two times I had lost my laptop, so that's why I wasn't too frantic about it. Um, okay, what else has gone on? Oh, the car accident. So 2 years ago, I was driving a Honda Accord and I had totaled it. What had happened was I was daydreaming while I was driving. I was thinking about a girl that I had broken up with not long before that. And the reason that I had broken up with her was because she wanted children. And obviously, I want to write computer games. I want to do all these other things before I have children. And she wanted children, and we broke up. And now, a few months later, I was driving down the road and I was thinking about what's going to happen to my computer games after I die. Because I've been writing computer games for 7 years now, and there's no sign of it concluding in any sense. And when you think about it, 7 years is a good percentage of one's life expectancy. And I know I'm going to die with things that are unfinished. And I started to worry. And then I remembered that this girl, she wanted children, and maybe I really should have some children to continue my computer game legacy. I was daydreaming while I was driving, and all of a sudden, traffic in front of me slowed down, and I couldn't slow down fast enough, and kaboom! And I got a ticket over the accident for speeding, and I went to the traffic court to try to get it reduced. I got it reduced to only going, I think it was like 5 miles an hour over instead of just general speeding, so that it wouldn't go on my record. And I got the fine transferred to a community service. I was in between jobs at the time, so the judge allowed me to do community service to work off the fine. And when I did the community service, I met a girl, so it turned out to be good. And I'm still seeing her today. She's probably not future wife material, but she's a good friend and a good potential business partner. She doesn't like the same kind of computer games that I like, but she's interested in the art aspect of it. And when I think back at all these bad events, horrible events, and they did, if when I think back to what would happen if they didn't happen, I don't want to imagine that. I'd rather the car accident actually happened. I'd rather that the two laptops that I got stolen actually happened. I'd rather that the fact that I have to pay more for car insurance for being single. I'd rather that actually be true, and I can say that with a straight face. And it really helps when I have more bad events happen to just remember that. In the future, it will be good. And if you can laugh about it in the future, you might as well laugh about it when it's happening to you. Thanks for watching.